Welcome to Last Time Online. This episode is brought to you by Dogmu Games, my very own game studio. I'm currently working on my first game called Wake Out of Twilight. Wake Out of Twilight is a 2D platformer game based in a futuristic dystopia where nearly all parts of life are automated. Life couldn't get any easier, but the price to pay was more than anybody agreed to. Navigate through traps, obstacles, and puzzles in order to save everybody from the nightmare. If you would like to be the first to know when I have updates or when the game is releasing, you can go to Steam and wishlist the game. Now, let's get on with the episode. What's up, gamers? Welcome to another episode of Last Time Online. Another week, another episode. I am your host, George, and today we are joined by Anthony.
Heyo!
And Jonathan.
What up?
Alvaro.
Ooga booga.
And Justin.
To quote my fellow guy, well met.
And today, every week we start off with our Nerd Report, which is where we explain what we've done for the past week. And mine today is a little salty because I finished the show Halo, which I love. I love the franchise Halo, right? And I've been defending the show. I've been defending the show the whole time through. It was decent until the last episode when they shot a grunt with a sniper rifle.
That's epic.
No. If
What's wrong with that?
If you've
I
played,
love sniping grunts.
It's a waste.
if you've played Halo, you know that a sniper bullet on a grunt is a waste of a bullet. It doesn't matter if you're playing on easy mode or legendary. You don't use a sniper rifle bullet on a grunt. So that kind of
it was fun to watch him go boop.
it triggered me a little bit. No, the fighting scene was decent, but I guess my biggest problem is just like how it ended. It ended like I mean, the way they ended it kind of solidified like how far away from Halo they were trying to be in this show. You know, I don't know if I should spoil it or not. I don't know if anyone's
No spoiler.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if anyone was planning on watching it, but
I think it's funny that of all the things that, like showing the face and Master Chief having snoo.
they were
Sniper
gonna
rifle.
yeah
The sniper
no.
rifle is the thing.
So like I was like towards the end of this finale episode, I was already kind of getting the feel like I don't think I'm liking this. I don't think I'm liking this at all, right? And then at the end, the last scene is in the ship, right? And then I thought that they were going to go into a direction that was going to piss me off like to no end, right? And like I don't know if you guys have finished like the first Halo, but like it's iconic how it looks like Master Chief is taking off his head, right? Taking off his helmet, but as he's taking off the helmet, like the camera goes above like the Pelican ship where you can't see his head.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were gonna piss me off because like it was almost like they were setting it up where he was gonna do the same thing, you know, but but actually see his face, and I was like, how dare they rip off like the first Halo and actually show it, you know? But that was gonna be a major insult. But anyway, that's the bulk of my rant, and what I did. I mean, I did a lot of other stuff, of course. I'm continuing to play Trek to Yomi, but I'll say more about that when I finish it because I think I'm getting close to the end. And I finished the show Atlanta that Max and I watched, and the last episode of that one is completely the opposite of Halo. This last episode of Atlanta was amazing. It was so funny, so random, and I can't say enough good things about it. It was so funny. And that is my report. How about we go with Anthony first this time?
So I basically have just been finishing up some animes. I just finished watching up Devil's a Part-Timer because season 2 is supposed to be coming out in a couple months.
Well, there's a season 2.
Yeah, finally coming out this year, and it's supposed to be
10 years
July.
later.
Is what? Yeah, everyone's been waiting for it. Been watching more of Rising of the Shield Hero. Kind of disappointed on this season so far on it.
Oh.
Aside from that, I haven't really done much. Just been playing some Warcraft, playing some more Knights of the Old Republic, trying to get through that.
Mhm.
And I just started watching Better Call Saul from the get-go again, so I want to binge through all that and and I'll probably end up finishing up the second half of Ozarks.
From the get-go, do you mean you're starting it off from season 1 again?
From season 1.
In preparation for the new season that just came out? Is that what?
Yep. I'm just gonna watch it all.
How about Jonathan next? You can explain why you have a raspy voice today. You have your morning voice.
I have a raspy voice because I went to a Giants game yesterday, and Giants were winning. They blew a 6-run lead, and then they were behind by 3, and then they came back and won it in the 9th inning. And Jock Peterson hit 3 home runs and had 8 RBIs. Carried the team on his back.
What a stud!
Our defense was sucking a big one.
Dang.
It was bad.
He must have juiced up during the 7th inning stretch, huh?
I don't know. He hit a 2-run home run, and then I think at his second at bat, and then struck out, and then his next at bat was a 3-run home run.
Oh shit!
And then his next at bat was then another 2-run home run.
Okay, checking for roids. That's what I'm thinking.
And he only has 10 home runs for the season.
He actually hit another home run today.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yep.
I'm trying 11. Yeah, Giants won 9-3.
Yeah.
But that's, I guess, not nerd stuff. That's why I lost my voice. Nerd stuff that I did do, or I guess just stuff that I did do that was not sports related. I finished watching Odd Taxi, which I mentioned a few weeks ago. That anime is very, very good. It is I highly recommend it. It's a mystery, and every character and everything that they introduce has a purpose, even if you don't know what it is until 6 episodes later. Like, even like the smallest little thing, was it the writing principle of Chekhov's gun, where
Yeah.
everything shown has a purpose, and you don't show something that doesn't. It's kind of weird. Like, it looks like Zootopia, but like.
So if you're a furry fan,
for adults.
then
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not like it's not like Beastars. It's not.
Okay.
It's just
Oh,
the people just. Yeah, no. It's just the
Super
people.
furries.
The people are animals, and yeah, there's a mystery, and you kind of, for a while, you don't know what's really happening because they're just introducing characters that he meets while he's driving taxi, but like everything just like ties together clean at the end, and I was just like, oh my god, it was really good. Highly 13 episodes, 1 season.
Is it based off of a manga or?
Well, I don't know if it's manga, but it's an anime. It's on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Definitely worth watching. And then I watched 2 movies on Disney Plus. I watched Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. I enjoyed it. I think we might talk about it later, so I'm not gonna mention much now. And I also watched Cheaper by the Dozen, the new one with Zach Braff, and it was pretty good. Family movie. I give it like a C plus. I think my biggest issue was like they're a family of 12 people, and there's so many like different familial issues that they can do, and they do a really good job of doing like the mixed family, like Zach Braff and I don't know the actress's name, but black wife, white husband, she has her own kids, and it's like a Brady Bunch situation where they have their own kids, and then they end up having kids together. So that's how they
Zoe
get their
Baker.
numbers. Zoe Baker.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
Gabrielle Union. There you go.
There you go. and so like of all the issues, they kind of like boil it down to like race. And I mean, I know it's like a big thing, but I wish they could have like stayed away from that trope.
Hmm.
Like,
Is that
yeah,
how you said She Provided the Dozen's a remake, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a remake.
All right. Is that kind of like
Uh,
similar to what they try to do in the first one? I mean, not maybe not with race, but like kind of splitting up like a bunch of different family issues.
well, I mean, I can't even remember the original. It
Hmm.
was it Steve Martin?
Yeah,
It was
they had
yeah,
each person had their own issues and stuff. Like the older daughter wanted to go do her own thing, was getting married or whatever.
yeah, and they did do that. Everybody had their own issues, but it's just like when it came to like the black side of the family, like everything boiled down to like racism at its
Wow.
core. And so it was just like I understand it's an issue, but it felt like they could have probably did some other stuff and it would have, not fell into that trope. But otherwise it's a really good movie. Nice little family movie to watch.
All right.
Um, yeah, that's all I did this week and a bunch of work.
All right. And then how about we do Alvaro next?
To the ASMR section of the episode,
Uh
brought to
oh.
you by
Let's.
Pepsi Nitro.
Okay.
You
Oh, with
gotta
the new
oh
cans.
wait, you gotta flip it completely.
Yeah, you're supposed to put it in like
Aren't you supposed to like shake it gently too?
no, you're supposed to open
I've never
Open it
done this. We're
hard.
doing it live.
Where's your
I have
mic
a
at?
bunch in
Because
my
I don't
house.
actually don't know.
I can't hear nothing. There's no ASMR.
Sorry.
He doesn't
Should
have
be. You
the
It's
should be.
quiet. I'm
he
sorry.
doesn't
Lied to
have
me.
he doesn't have the
I don't have
mic
a fucking
that has
Yeti mic.
That
the
looks
Yeah.
like it
the
looks
little ears.
nitro. Nitro is that coffee? 'Cause it looks like creamy.
No, it
No,
just
It's
has
just
a
like
nitro cartridge inside of it.
yeah,
yeah.
mix it. It's smooth
Oh,
and foamy.
It's very nice. I've
okay.
actually never
Yeah,
poured it. Usually just drink out of the can itself.
it has a nice head.
Yeah, it looks like
Wow.
beer. That's kind of a cool little
I
effect.
think I think it tastes better than regular Pepsi, to be honest. And
I
I
mean, it's
do
just easier
not
to drink.
I don't like Pepsi.
I like that can.
So, well, this year is the 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy, and with they're doing a bunch of like cross-brand stuff. So Uniqlo had a bunch of shirts. I bought a few of them. This is Final Fantasy 12, which I've never played.
Damn.
Um, Final Fantasy 6, which I should probably be wearing. It's easier to. It's kind of hard to tell on camera. Final Fantasy 9, probably one of my favorite ones, low key. And Final Fantasy 7.
You're a fan of the Gunblade, huh? Or is that 8?
8 is in. They have a shirt for every game. So they have 1 through 16. 16 is not out yet. But it was very hard to get.
Wow.
But
That's
I
actually really
bought them
cool.
at 7. I bought them at 7 in the morning, and half of them already sold out. So the ones I was able to get, I got lucky on those. I also got the Batman 4K Steelbook. This is like currently going for $100 on eBay right now, so you haven't opened it. Other than that, I did go watch Men, as I mentioned last week. It's I can't even like describe how good that movie is. It's incredible.
I
You need to see it.
I
You need to see
really,
it.
dude, I really wanted to see it, and then the person I asked to see it with, they're like, I'm looking at the reviews, and I admit like
No,
the
fuck
reviews
that, fuck
don't
that.
the reviews aren't flattering.
If you
So
like Alex Garland, you'll like the movie. That's
okay,
what
yeah,
it boils down to. Like I
'cause
think you should just by yourself, at least.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
I've seen some reviews, and like most of them are unflattering, and then like the best reviews that I kind of have seen have been basically like the movie's freaking weird, but I loved it, all of it. But,
Yeah, I mean that's the best way I could describe it without giving away anything.
okay, all right.
But
then.
yeah, I mean like you said, if you like Alex Garland stuff, you've seen all his other shit, definitely go see it.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna find. I'll find out how to.
What if
how
you're
to
not
watch
an Alex Garland fan? Should you still watch
Well, I
it?
mean if you don't
Good
like
point.
sci-fi that messes
Good
with
point.
your mind, then go watch a Marvel movie, I guess. Other than that, I did go see.
Oh, shots.
I did go. Beyond that, I did finish Sifu. Last week I had an issue. I couldn't even finish the boss, but I did end up doing that, and I got all the trophies, so I got 100% completion on that one.
Nice.
And I just started going through the backlog since there's no major releases currently. I just started the Uncharted 4 PS5 version, so I'll be going through that. Other than that, what the hell else did I do? Oh yeah, the Halo show, which I totally forgot about. Honestly, I totally would have blanked on it if you didn't mention it. It's fine. It's not. If you're a Halo fan, it's not for you. But I also watched Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. They just dropped season 3. It's like a collection of different animation shorts. There's 9 of them. One of them is directed by David Fincher, so that was a surprise. It was very good. But there's one that's
for the audience that knows at home, Alvaro's a huge Fincher fan. So.
Oh yeah. I had no idea. I mean, I know he's a producer and stuff on it. I had no idea he was on it. And then Tim Miller did another one too, the director of Deadpool. That one's pretty neat too. But there was one, the very last episode I saw, well, if you go in order, it's called Jibado, and it's like this like soldier guy being called upon by a siren, and it's like a 10-minute little short, but like it's so freaking weird, and like it does everything I love about like I guess experimental movie making, where it's just like super fast cuts and like weird angles and like filters and shit. Like it just does everything that I want in like film and animation, and it is like that director, he did some work for the Spider-Verse movie. I think he was like an art director or something like that. So like it has very much that kind of style, which is very like cuts like every like couple seconds, and it's kind of freaky at first. People aren't really into it if you'd like, just steady shots, but it's just, I mean, I love it. I would definitely, if you see anything from that show, definitely watch that one. It's probably the best thing.
So, I only know a little bit about that show, but from what I've seen and also what you said, it sounds like each episode is kind of like standalone. Is that right?
Yeah, it's their own stories. Each one is like, it's his own show. Like it just like produced like little shorts by each different animation houses around the world.
All right, that sounds cool. It might be a show that like I end up like if I want to watch basically like a mini movie, I might just like go and check out
it's like
every once in a while.
like they're all about like 10-15 minutes each. Like the longest one I think was the David Fincher one, it's like 20 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, and that was my week.
Nice. Sounds cool. I think we've all had like a kind of cool week. I mean, you guys. I'm judging you guys. Cool week. I mean, me. I just ranted about Halo, but okay. So Justin, how about you close this out for us?
Well, I also did watch the Chip and Dale movie. I enjoyed it. After that, I actually watched the Roger Rabbit movie because it did remind me of the Roger Rabbit movie. So, or Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Is that on Plus?
Yeah, no, it's not. It is on Plus. Yeah. It's a good movie. It really tried, but like I said, we'll talk about it later if we talk about it. I actually have been playing some WoW Classic because I'm trying to catch up to all the other people. Because I do want to play Wrath of the Lich King because it was one of the expansions that I originally started playing. So that'll be fun to play. And then I feel like a broken record. I'm addicted. It's doing great. I was like, I've actually played a lot of Stardew Valley because why not? I'm addicted. I don't know why. It's very simple and
because it's fun.
It is fun, but I played a lot of it on Sunday and I played Monday, and I think some Friday too. But yeah, it's other than that, I think pretty boring week, I guess. Oh, and I have well, you guys know I have a party coming up on Saturday, so I've been doing some preparations for that party. So we'll probably talk about it more again next week. When,
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Get that air conditioning warmed up.
Yeah.
It'll
be,
the downstairs is not. We don't worry about that. It's the upstairs that gets hot.
It'll be working as intended.
Yeah. We're just gonna bring like
that's
liquid nitrogen to keep it like
yeah.
keep it areas, and then we have steam and lights and everything. There, so it'd be dual purpose.
Yep, but that's about it.
All right. Well, just gotta tell you, Jonathan or Justin. Well, Pop Up will be proud of you on what you've done to the farm.
Oh man, I have all the animals and all of the crops, man. I've adapted. No more watering can for me, man.
You got the
The worst.
the water blaster 5000 for your sprinkler for your
Oh
sprinkler
yeah,
system.
I got. Oh man, running out of energy. No longer a thing. It's a thing of the past.
You know what's
And
funny though is we've been talking about Stardew Valley the last few weeks, and I think this past week I seen there was like two announcements for Stardew Valley like games
Mhm.
that were different styles that looked that are people are kind of like really talking about
Mhm.
because they look really good, or if they're out, they are really good.
It's like a genre that came back that I kind of like. So yeah, like a I don't know, what would you call it? It's like a simulator, but not
Farm
super.
simulator.
Yeah, like it's not. Yeah, because when I think it's
It's
similar,
not
I
like
think of like
farming
farm.
simulator or flight simulator. It's
Yeah,
just regular.
it's like it's more fun, right?
It's a it's a farm life simulator.
Yeah,
when you're ready to get that last time online farm going,
yeah.
we can go.
Oh, hey, that's an idea. But I mean, like they call Forza, like if Forza Motorsports a simulator, they call Forza Horizon what do they call it, a simcade?
Arcade racer.
Arcade
Yeah,
racer?
something like
Yeah,
that.
like yeah, something like that.
Mm.
So I would say like the analogy is kind of like similar from like farming simulator to like Stardew Valley. I guess maybe it's a little off
I would consider it like a video game of life
of life.
in the farm life.
It's like an RPG almost.
Yeah.
It's an RPG.
So the two games that I seen they were on Kotaku. One is called Immortal Life, and the other one's called Spirit Tea.
Spirit Tea. Okay, and
Spirit Tea.
they're just both like the the farm simulator
One of
arcade
them
games.
is kind of there. Yeah, I mean it's closer to Stardew Valley because it does have all the combat and stuff. Um, but the Immortal Life looks more. I don't know how to explain it. It looks like it's China-ish. Like there's like has the monk kind of aesthetic, like in the mountains
Okay,
with all the
I think I know what you
trees
mean.
and stuff. Kind of like Pandaria kind of aesthetic.
Okay,
I guess that's what's popping in mind. And then the other one's like Spirit Tea, which is like Stardew Valley with the art style like Spirited Away.
okay, that sounds cool. That's a cool aesthetic. But anyway, so I know two of you have watched the Chippendale Rescue Rangers this week, and I believe you guys had some thoughts on it.
It was really good.
Yeah,
It,
leave it at that. Short and sweet.
no,
Well,
no, it was really good.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't know. It's like I said, it really reminded me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and
Mhm.
I watched it immediately after because it just recommended it to watch it, and I was like, why
Yeah,
not? And then I rewatched that, and I was like, man, this movie's just it's not as good as Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it was
yeah,
a good
no,
movie.
yeah. It hits similar notes,
Yep.
but it's I think it does a really good job of like building a world where cartoons exist as as people in our world, but it's not like Roger Rabbit where like they're mostly in Toontown, like they're there and we're here. Like
They brought him to the real world and stuff. So
yeah, like there's houses and then Chip's house is next to a full-size house and he has his own property that's gated off and it's just a micro-sized chipmunk house that's next to regular size houses.
that's
Um,
cool.
and
He
they
has his own
do
dog.
he has his own dog, which is a full-size dog. Is a lot of the humor is definitely like referential, and
Okay.
um, I think they, I guess, what Disney did to get around um, the issues they had with Roger Rabbit because there was that whole um, contract where like, oh, if you want to use Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck have to be on the screen the exact amount of time that Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck
Mm.
are on. Like they have to have the same airtime. So they didn't want to. They couldn't favor anything. Disney for this one they just lean into parody law. So like there's just like a whole. I don't know. I don't want to spoil any of the jokes, but like, well, there's one in the beginning where like Chip is like walking down the Hollywood Boulevard with the stars, and it's like, oh, there's Chung Lee, and there's Squidward has a star on
Wait,
the
Chun
wall.
Li's in this movie? I want to watch it now.
No, she has a star. She has this.
It's
She
like
has
Kurt
a
Cobain kind of stuff.
star.
It's like their names are on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's I mean like some of the stuff that they kind of like use camera angles or like change focuses to like have references in there without having references in there. Because as he's walking down the street, he passes a bus stop, and there's a Gucci ad on the poster, and it's clearly Dobby. Dobby is modeling for Gucci. You can tell his figure, but it's blurred out because it's in the background. They don't
That's
actually
fucking-
show Dobby. But
Yes.
you infer it, and then
Mhm.
there's obviously the first thing that came out about the movie was Ugly Sonic was in the movie as Ugly Sonic. He's not Sonic. He's Ugly Sonic.
Oh my gosh.
Epic.
Yeah. So there's just a bunch of like little things here and there. That's is just funny, and they used to build up the world. Um, outside of that, it's a pretty standard um, mystery movie. It doesn't, it's not complex. They even, poke fun of itself for, sticking to the tropes. It's very,
Yep.
it knows what it is and it makes fun of itself. It doesn't take itself too seriously. But yeah, it's just a fun movie to watch. But I did learn about, I guess, a controversy that's kind of popped up because of the movie. Um, there's a thing with Peter Pan where I don't know if you've seen the trailers, but he's like old, and I guess the story of Peter Pan in the movie is very close to the original voice actor of Peter Pan, where Peter Pan's mad in the movie because he aged, he got pimples, and then they didn't want to use him anymore, and so that's why he got fat and angry. But apparently that's what happened to the real voice actor of Peter Pan. Like
He got
got
pimply.
older, he got older, and he got acne, and Disney cut his contract like 2 years early, and he ended up dying homeless, and buried in an unmarked grave. They didn't find out till years later that he died, and so it was
Whoa.
just kind of like people are like, yeah, it's a little. I don't know if it's intentional or if it's you know, it seems a little too on the nose that they didn't know, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a sad story that happened to the actor, and it happens to a lot of kid actors that run through that circuit, and so people are just like, yo, that's not cool. But I mean, it is what it is. I still think it's a really good movie, but it's that little thing in there is a little sad.
All right.
But it's just kind of like on the
Well,
side.
well, I remember you saying that you wanted to bring up like the topic of like fan service, right? Because it sounds like
Hmm.
what you've said about the movie so far, it seemed like that was like a positive, like a very positive
I mean,
part
I
of
enjoy
this
it.
movie, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it in this movie. There's a lot of they make reference to a lot of the old like Rescue Ranger, you know, show, and um, they even play their accents. The reason why they sound different, like it's a voice that they used for the show. Like
Mm-hmm.
they changed their voice as characters for the show, and so they have them practicing lines in their chipmunk voices. Um, and so there's a lot of stuff. I really enjoyed it, and we were talking about Doctor Strange, and I enjoyed the little the Easter eggs and the fan service
the cameos.
and that stuff. Yeah, the cameos, and there's kind of that thing in this movie, and I know you guys had expressed that you don't. Max didn't like it. Max didn't like the cameos. He thought it was pointless.
Yeah.
And
I wonder.
about
Yeah.
Star Wars in the previous one, you guys didn't really care for the fan service that was in episode 9, and and maybe some of the TV shows too on Disney Plus. I don't know how you guys feel about that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's
But-
just kind of like.
I mean,
leaning together.
I can't speak for Max, but I personally think that I mean, I can almost agree with Max when he said that he doesn't care for like the pointless cameos, right? And I don't know what anyone else feels about that during the Doctor Strange movie. I thought it was fine, and like I'm okay with it. And from what I'm hearing, I haven't seen this Chippendale movie, but it sounds like that's like kind of part of the movie too. From what you're saying, it sounds like it's like close to like a meta movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's very much like Ready Player One.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind
A lot of
situation.
visual gags. A lot of them like in one scene. And that's it.
Yeah.
yeah. So like in that case, I would say that although it is fan service, I would say that it's like more acceptable from my perspective, right? Because that is a joke, right? That they're there and like people remember it. Where and Doctor Strange, I'm like neutral about it. Now you also mentioned the last Star Wars movie, which I thought that was terrible because I thought maybe I'm maybe biased, but see, when they did it in Star Wars, they just did it in Star Wars because that's what they thought like people wanted to see. They didn't do it like it seemed like it didn't,
So
it wasn't planned to do it that way, right? Like it wasn't part of the story. They're like, hey, people will like this, so let's do this, or like this person's good now, or like that's the kind of fan service I don't like. So like there's different levels to it for sure, in my opinion. I don't know what anyone else thinks about that.
I think Star Wars 9 is the greatest, but that's just
No,
me.
you don't.
Yeah,
I
you
do.
Get out of here.
Shut
No,
your
no, no,
dirty
okay.
whore
Yeah.
mouth. Right now.
Okay. Okay.
Your
Open up.
opinion is null and void anyways.
Open up your schedules, guys. This is gonna go on for
Okay,
2 more
okay.
hours.
So-
Okay.
Oh, where's Max when I need
No,
him? God
so-
damn it.
It's the same thing as what Alvaro just said for the Halo movie, and I said this the day it came out. I don't like Star Wars, but I like this movie. Oh, Jonathan left. But I didn't like. I like this movie because I don't know anything about the story, and all I did was see shit explode, and that was entertaining to me, right?
Mhm.
So like you guys know the lore, you know the backstory, you know all that fun stuff. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it wasn't good for you, but for me it was entertaining and I enjoyed it. So, and I know Max is gonna hate this when he has to like do some editing later, but this one's for you, Max. It's great. It's phenomenal.
He's literally probably gonna edit out all your statement right
No.
now.
I will not be censored.
So here's
And I
that.
will condone it too, just because it's bullshit.
No,
You have to watch all the Star Wars movies, everything, to be able to decide what's the best movie.
I have seen all of them.
I'm not a fan of yucking anybody's yum. Okay, but
yuck.
the Halo, the Halo show and like your how you liked the last Star Wars is a little bit different, right? Because I mean, Halo is like you're adapting a game to a show. Like I think it's allowed to be different. There are allowed to be different interpretations of Master Chief and Halo, the franchise or whatever. Like Star Wars, I mean, you can have an opinion on whether or not you like that, right? But I mean, they're allowed to be different. I mean, like it's my opinion, I guess I should say that instead. Like it's my opinion that they're allowed to be different. Now, Star Wars, the movies are supposed to be the same as the movies, right? Like the movies are supposed to agree with each other. So like when
Yes.
when Star Wars Episode 9 comes out, and just like I don't know, makes no sense. Based off the movies that it's supposed to be like in addition to, like that's a sin to me. That's that's a big no-no. That's why I think it's a little bit different. Again, I don't want to yuck your yum. If you like the show, like if you like the movie, Like, good on you. But
It's phenomenal.
I cannot stand on the same on the same floor as you when you say that.
I'm like that meme, you know, where the guy who gets third place and he's like celebrating.
Yeah.
That's how that movie is, man. It's great. And I know when I watched it with you guys at that same time, and you guys were all like, "This movie's terrible," and I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "I had a good time."
Justin, you're going down a path I can't follow.
I know.
Well,
We have the high ground.
exactly.
Oh, speaking of
Yeah. Segue.
speaking of the high ground, like what the Kenobi show comes out this weekend, right?
Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Friday.
There's a lot of stuff that comes out Friday. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I'm a
be tough
little bit.
to schedule everything.
I'm a little bit sad because there's no way I'm gonna get close to finishing Star Wars Rebels before, or even probably before midway during the season. I really wanted to watch that as like study material for the show, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I get it, how much I get without seeing that show. I know Lewis is the one that knows a lot about that Rebel show. Apparently, it has relevant information in there. But yeah, I do want to. I'm very excited for that show.
We're probably not going to talk about it for a while, so the only thing you have
I
to
mean,
worry
it's a
about
weekly
is
thing.
Yeah,
so
if
you only have to worry
I
about
think it's
the
only
internet spoiling it, not us.
it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about getting like spoiled, but
The Obi-Wan show is only 6 episodes.
As far as I know, yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, it is a Disney
sure.
Plus show, so
Yeah, I mean, would you want to go on forever? Days of Our Lives?
I mean, I don't know.
no,
I
because
think
you guys
I think 8 or 10 is like a solid runtime. 6
look
seems
at
a little short.
look at Boba Fett. That was 6 episodes, and you guys hated it.
Yeah.
So you know, what
I
Should've-
didn't.
should have been
hate
shorter.
It,
It
just
should have been
didn't-
shorter.
Just didn't.
You're like, it should-
they just completely ruined a character that everybody's loved for the last
I know.
like 30, 40 years.
Boba
30
Fett's not that cool. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I don't care. I mean, he's just a dude in a suit that shoots a gun.
They should have just.
So like James Bond.
He
Yeah.
was like an ultimate bounty hunter, and they made him look like a little bitch.
I mean, they
He's
could
always
have.
been that way.
They could have. They could have
That's-
removed the first 3 episodes of that show and then renamed it to Mandalorian, and then it would have been all right.
Yeah.
Mandalorian and
Mandalorian
Friends.
season 2,
Yeah.
season 3.
Yep.
2.5.
But we were talking about fan service, though, right? I think.
I mean, this is all involved, right?
Yeah,
Did
like
it
like this.
did it
No,
have
yeah,
that?
yeah, I wasn't gonna try to like get us back on track. I think we're still on track because I remember with this Obi-Wan show. I mean, Darth Vader is. I don't think it's a secret. I think it's pretty much out that Darth Vader is part of the show, and like it's always a question when Darth Vader comes into play. Like, are they there for any part of the story, or are they there for fan service?
Appearance.
You know,
Fan
He's gonna-
service.
yeah,
It's gonna be
he's
fan
gonna-
service, 100%.
He's
Because
gonna
like in,
pop up
'cause-
and slay like
yeah.
50 dudes like he did in Rogue One.
yeah. See,
it's,
Rogue-
yeah, that's why I think it's gonna happen. It's gonna be fan service like Road One. You just see him being a fucking badass.
I wanna see a very violent Vader.
Well, I think for this show they would get upset if they did that. You know, considering that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader have so much history together, right? Everyone wants to see that.
It's-
But
Yeah.
I mean, like, what can they do? Because we know that they both live until episode 4, so like, it's
Whoa! Spoilers.
it's the first movie. That was like
but
30
it's
years
like,
ago.
is just like
Closer
Um,
to 50 now.
it's that prequel problem, right? Like that the Han Solo movie had, where it's
True.
sometimes it's hard to care about the stakes because you know where the characters are going to end up. So I think it's going to be key. They really need to do a good job of telling everybody like what he's been doing, and not about like, you know, set piece cliffhangers, right? Because like in no matter, they're not going to be able to set up a cliffhanger because everybody knows he's going to survive the 6 episodes because he has to. So it's just going to tell a really good story. Otherwise, it's going to completely flop.
Yeah, please, please prove to us that the whole show itself isn't just a fan service show. Right.
But would you like it if that's if it's just like that?
No, well, so let me explain. Like, what I mean by that is that, like Boba Fett was a fan service show, right? Like, it wasn't like necessarily good. There was like the story. I don't think anyone thought the story was any good, right? But I say it's a
No
fan service
substance.
show because they hook so many people just by it being about Boba Fett, right? And
Right.
to be honest, that's how I feel about this Obi-Wan show right now, right? They're hooking me because it's about Obi-Wan, right? I'm already feeling the fan service just because the show exists without having even seen it.
Well, yeah,
No.
but we've known that they were gonna make an Obi-Wan show for years now.
Yeah, but yeah.
Like we know
I-
their whole schedule. They're supposed to make one, I believe, about Yoda as well.
Oh, see, that's
So I mean,
I don't know if he's that interesting of a character by himself, but we'll see.
I don't know what part of his life they're gonna do it a bit in, but
Yeah, maybe
But we clearly Jar Jar Binks show if that's what you want.
no, I don't want Jar Jar Binks.
It's sad though because everybody's like all the hate the first trilogy got, right? Or sorry, not the first trilogy, the prequel
The prequels.
trilogy got.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now there's this whole thing where all the people that were kids with that trilogy are like adults.
That was their first
And
Star
so-
Wars.
Yeah. And so like all these actors that got hate for like the last 20 years are now finally getting like love and affection from the fans. And
They're getting
No,
their
they're not.
redemption arc.
everybody but Jar Jar Binks. And that dude
Because
got
they
it.
should have went. Everyone
You got
knows
it
what
the
the theory
worst.
was about Jar Jar Binks was, and they should have just kept it with what it was.
That's the only fan
Yeah.
service I care about. Release the
Yeah.
real cut, George. George.
Yeah,
Lucas.
release the real cut where Jar Jar was the fucking
Yeah.
dark Sith overlord.
We know it's out there. That's the only fan service I care about now.
Oh man.
All that matters.
That dude got it the worst out of all the other actors, and that dude, he like pretty much quit his career because of that.
Jar Jar.
No,
And it wasn't even.
didn't Anakin, the kid that played Anakin, didn't he like quit
Yeah,
acting too?
Yeah, a lot of. I mean, I think that goes back to that child actor thing. He kind of did that. I think drugs and shit too.
No, he got bullied.
Well, yeah, he got bullied, but I mean, and then he became an adult, and then I think
I can't
he had
even
some substance
fathom that.
abuse.
I don't understand how a kid gets bullied because like when I was young, I
Because
think
Star Wars fans.
It was
And
Star Wars
by-
fans bullied the shit out of him.
by adults though, because I think episode 1 was like the first one that I can remember, you know, like remembering while it came out. And I remember I freaking loved that show, right? But like I was just a kid, you know, I didn't understand like the story, how boring it was, right? I was like interested in the racing and lightsaber fights, and that was pretty much it. That's all I needed to be happy, right? So
You're
like,
like Darth
weird.
Maul. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah,
Weird
it's like-
that he did get bullied though, because I mean, I don't have a lot of
That was wrong movie,
attachment
by
to
the
Star
way.
Wars,
It's-
obviously.
it just makes me think
But-
that he was bullied by like the older, like 20 or 30-year-old Star Wars
But,
nerds.
but like,
Something
but
as a
the
kid.
first one was good though. It was the second one that was the worst one of the three, right? And then like 3 is pretty cheesy, but people still enjoy it. But I mean, as a non-Star Wars fan, I thought the first one was pretty good. But I don't know.
I think now we think that, right? But at the time, it was by far like the worst Star Wars of the 4, right?
I don't know. I've seen all of them once, you know, so it's been a while, but I didn't hate it.
George, did you watch any of the prequels in theaters while they were out? Or?
I can't remember. I don't think I did. I can't remember.
I saw the first one in like 5th grade,
Yeah.
episode 1. That was fun. Here at the theater in town. That was like brand new at the time. That's fucking weird to think about.
Wow.
And then episode 3, I saw it like high school graduation, 2005. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I know for sure I didn't watch them in theater because I remember looking at like footage of like the lines back then, and I know I never had to deal with any of like the fandom at the theater. So yeah, I'm
I
pretty
think
sure I
the
watched it
first
on
was-
VHS or something.
Really showing her
Episode
age, you guys.
7. Episode 7 was my first Star Wars in theaters.
Damn.
But
So
if you haven't seen 9, it's phenomenal.
yeah, so
I have. I haven't.
Shut
I actually
up,
have,
dude.
I haven't seen 8. I haven't seen 8 and 9.
These guys
8
are
is
the worst.
kinda
Don't listen to any of them.
8 was ruined for me. I'm sorry, 7 was ruined for me by Star Wars fans, and it kind of like soured that movie. It wasn't a
will-
bad movie.
Ruined
but,
how?
this it got
Just what happens?
literally the movie spoiled for me.
Yeah.
I will say this.
It was an accident, but I was still I was still annoyed.
I will concede that if you're not a Star Wars fan or you're trying to get into Star Wars, it wouldn't be the worst thing to start with 9 because it's just like freaking out there.
It was.
I don't know about that. I don't know
No,
about
okay.
that.
I mean, it was an average movie. I mean, it wasn't
Fine.
terrible, but
I think the greatest thing for me was after watching it, when I watched it with you guys and all the other Star Wars nerds, was the big disappointment on all their faces was the fucking best.
Shut up! I hate you now for saying that.
what is it?
It was just because you got those
I hate
cosplay
you.
nerds.
He's
You
like,
got
your
the co-
misery. Your misery is delicious.
Well, you had all the people who were cosplaying, and they were like, like, and they were just like, this is
I can't.
those diehards, and they're like, this is a little bit too much for me, and I'm
I
like,
won't. I can't condone.
Hey,
that,
we got a
though,
cameo.
because,
We got a cameo in the video.
there's speaking of fan service.
I know.
the way you guys felt for that movie is the way that I felt when M. Night Shyamalan made fucking The Last
Avatar.
Airbender. So it's like
Oh,
I
Glass?
know like I don't want, like, it's funny from the outside, but like as a fan of a franchise completely butchered, like, I can sympathize, and I don't want anybody of any fan base to like feel that, because it sucks
Oh
so
yeah, for
bad
sure.
especially when you have a good source material, and it just kind of, I mean, at the end of the day, at least the Star Wars movies are entertaining, and
Like,
The Last Airbender was not.
when I talked to Matt, when I was talking to you guys after it, I don't know if you remember that I said 9 was literally just Fast and Furious in space because of all the nonsense that was happening, and you're like, I don't want to talk about it.
well, there
But-
you go.
There's a
If you haven't
couple
seen
of,
if you haven't seen Star Wars before, Episode 9 is pure nonsense. If you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Let's try to move on because we got like 2 more other like mini topics to go on.
Let's talk
And-
about Sony going back on their upgrade fees.
it said
That
it
was
a
unintentional.
You guys know more
They
about
said it
that.
was a mistake.
Unintentional. Oh,
Well,
you
give-
know,
give-
they're like, they got extreme backlash for that. People
They're
are probably
like,
gonna
"Whoops,
cancel, and they're
shit,
like,
shit."
oh, hold on, guys.
well,
Hold
well,
on,
and-
we
You
made a
can't
mistake.
cancel.
That was not how it was supposed to go. And
Okay,
they're
well,
like,
before you keep going, do you want to explain what the fuck you're talking
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah,
Like,
and
explain.
Anthony can lead this one. Anthony.
so
can lead this
basically, Sony sent out, charged all the Asia people, because that's where it got released first, for their new PS Plus. They got charged extra for the new service on top of what they already got, what they paid for previous subscriptions and stuff. So there's a lot of backlash for it.
Mhm.
And
I
Sony's
bet-
like, oh, that was unintentional. We didn't mean to charge them.
So I think the question on everyone's mind is, was it intentional or not?
Oh, it was 100% intentional.
You think
They were
so?
trying to get away with it.
one.
And
I think
they didn't
use
think.
they use the Asian market as the guinea pig.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's why it's a soft launch, right? It's like a slow rollout. These things can happen. It's not like they
Bugs.
know exactly where you bought your code from. Like, a code is a code, right? Like, it's not like they know if it's discounted or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I still think that they tried pulling a fast one, and now they're backstepping big time. They're like, oh, whoa, sorry guys, we didn't mean this.
Yeah.
A company
I
that
think-
big doesn't mean to charge you guys again and try and get more money.
Yeah, it's a little sus, right? It could have genuinely been a mistake, but if that had happened in our market, the backlash would have been much worse for them than the Asian market, because China doesn't give any fucks, apparently.
Nope.
But yeah, it just seemed like the thing that I'm confused about is like, why would it matter, right? They already got their money for those codes from whatever the distributor is, or maybe not, um, but if they already got their money, like, what do you care, like, what that person paid for it, except to get more money?
But it
That's
acted as if they haven't been upgraded yet, so it charged them
Yeah,
twice, right? Isn't that what happened? So
yeah, and then well, it was like if you wanted to,
Oh, is that
I
what
guess if
happened? I
also if
thought.
you wanted to upgrade your stacked years, like if you have 3 years of the base,
it
you
would charge you
can't
three
just
times.
you would have to pay the difference for all
Yeah,
3 years
yeah. Kind
That's
of
to
what
just
I
one.
thought.
whatever your remaining time is, and
Okay.
I think that is fine, because if you're cemented in for 3 years, you want to upgrade, then obviously you're gonna do the whole
Pay the
thing.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only
it
part I
seemed
actually heard about was them having to pay the difference if they bought
well.
like months in advance for cheaper. You know?
It seemed like you have to, like, if you bought it for cheap and you have multiple years, you would have to pay the difference to upgrade to the tier, and also the difference that you saved. That was the
Oh
So
yeah,
if you saying, like, if you bought it for $30, you'd have to
yeah,
pay the other $30 plus the
Another
extra, what is
60.
it, $60 to
yeah.
upgrade it to plus plus plus.
But yeah, depending on the tier. But if you're gonna do that, but you just pay. But they were trying to charge people, just for the upgrade in general.
Because
Even if they bought it for a discount.
I think I had
Wait,
a little bit more
wait,
than
what?
a year
I
stacked,
don't. Maybe I'm
but
not understanding why is that a problem? Like if I bought.
Because when they initially said it, they no matter what, if you had PS Plus, what their current one is right now, you're gonna get automatically transferred to the lowest new one.
Right. Yeah.
it was for
And
PlayStation Now specifically, because originally they
Yeah.
said if you had PlayStation Now, you'd automatically have the highest tier.
Oh.
But people that stacked the Now to get that discount, they're like, oh, you have to pay the difference. You're not getting the discount.
Oh, that's the issue. Okay, I understand now.
But they said it was an error, which it might have been. We don't know. But yeah, I think if it had, there's a good reason why they probably rolled out Asia first instead of Europe and America.
Smaller market.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to analyze like whether like if it was an accident or not. You know.
no, yeah, no, hell no, it wasn't. No, that was intentional. They wanted to test the waters and see if they can get away with it.
You know. Yeah. Like part of me thinks that too, and then another part of me thinks that like if they like how I don't know what went through their heads if they went through the work and the steps to charge people extra and they thought nobody was gonna catch them and they thought everyone was gonna be cool with it. You know what I mean?
And it's money.
That's
People are gonna notice.
yeah. I mean, apparently not when it comes to the theaters,
I
right?
I think well, obviously people are gonna notice. I think they probably wanted to see if people would be okay with that happening, and clearly no.
It's probably because they boot up a thing and it doesn't let them immediately access their content, right? And then they're like, okay, you have to pay this first. And then when people see the big number, because you stacked 3 years at a discount and they're making you pay the other half of that 3 years up front before you can access it, that's what, like $180. If it's because it's 120 total, right, for a year for the
Yeah.
top tier.
Yeah, for the top. Yeah.
So it would be $60 extra per year, assuming they got it half off. I don't know what the discounts were. So like as opposed to at the movie theater when you don't notice a dollar upcharge, you do notice 100.
I notice all the
Maybe
upcharges at the movie theaters. How
I
dare
say,
you?
yeah, I noticed $10 for a
Thank-
fucking matinee. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
maybe
come
And
on
I
maybe they
noticed
got
Tuesdays.
it.
last time I was there, I was like, "What happened to my $9?"
Come on Tuesdays with your rewards
Yeah.
card,
No, but was
$5.95.
it? Aren't the theaters like right now? This is oh man, this is gonna be I'm kind of like
Fucking inside baseball.
I know I'm
Yeah, insider
I
information,
know.
baby.
what do they call it, like rolling back the curtains or something like that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Peek
some of the
behind.
movie theaters have been charging more for like the popular movies right now, right? And like what they found is
All
like
the
a lot
Mhm.
what they found is like
It's
a lot of people don't even notice, huh? Because they're
I
like
don't.
Yeah,
they're
the
like
markup.
Yeah,
I
'cause
would sue the shit out of him for that. What the hell?
you know, yeah, like
It's only the Marvel, the superhero movies.
Who
Batman,
cares?
Well, yeah,
no, it
that's what
wasn't.
makes the
No,
money.
no,
Batman
it's not.
got $1. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, they were $2 more at Regal.
But didn't they start it with like Fast and the Furious or something like that too?
No, it wasn't. The first one was Spider-Man,
Oh, okay. I
or at
thought it was
least for
Fast and
Regal. Spider-Man
Wow.
was the first one. No one noticed for Spider-Man, and
Is that why my matinee cost more when I went to watch?
it was 11. Should have been if you went at opening week, it was 12.50.
Yeah, see, you didn't
and
even
then-
notice.
They changed it now.
You didn't even notice, Anthony.
And then
I want my money
Tran-
back. I want my money back.
some of the other bigger movies like Batman was 11.50. Like
You-
matinee is 10.50 right now.
You should check what Sony's charging you too. You're probably overpaying for your PlayStation Plus too.
Let me tell you.
You didn't even know it.
I don't have my
No,
card.
I have it.
That's-
I only
that's
buy
why-
PlayStation
that's-
Plus when it runs out.
That's why Sony did this test in Asia. It's because they figured people.
They're scum.
Yeah.
That's why I
Apparently,
tell customers.
apparently they
Come
pay
on
attention to their
Tuesday.
money more than Americans.
It's a bigger transaction. I probably wouldn't notice that. No, I think the last time. What movie did I watch?
You didn't notice the
last-
10 cents extra you paid for your IC the last time either.
They was down.
No,
By the way, like it always
10
is.
cents I wouldn't consider. How much are they marking up like the superhero movies that you're talking about? Is it like a whole dollar?
The Disney stuff was $2 more.
Shit.
Batman was $1 more. So you'll see movies that range between 10.50 and 12.50.
Damn.
That's some bullshit, motherfucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
But
You're going the Uber route.
if you come to Regal on Tuesday with a rewards card, you can watch any movie.
You don't need to advertise for them, dude. It's
No,
okay.
no, it's not about advertising because I tell customers this. We're already super expensive as it is. So if I want anybody that I'm helping at the concession stand to save as much money as they can. So if they can get a better discount on the drink or popcorn by using the free popcorn or drink instead of the upgrades, because that's a waste too. I tell them that. I tell them like, don't use your points on the free upgrades.
Yeah. Have you
Use
seen
free items? And the same thing for the tickets. Come on Tuesdays, half off your popcorn, $6 movie ticket for any movie at any time all day long. It's cheaper than senior price. Like, why wouldn't anybody come on a Tuesday? And so,
Confirm next week. Jonathan's lost his job at Regal for giving out insiders.
Insider trading.
I tell people this on the clock.
Podcaster loses theater chain $1 billion over the weekend. He gets fired
Regal.
immediately.
Podcast causes
I know.
Regal Entertainment
I know.
billions.
It amounts
I just-
to millions of dollars per week in losses.
Redacted.
I just
But-
did a training for my work on stuff like this, so but my company is a lot bigger and they will so
Oh,
we're-
you'd be gone. I'd be like,
oh yeah.
It's known information. I just help people discover it.
I know. Have you guys seen those
But-
TikToks where it's like, where it's like some like they're faking like a legal conversation and like you get they get like a cheaper price. Like, how do you know this? Like, oh, I follow this person on TikTok. Yeah, we should make one of
Yeah.
those for this, right? Like getting a deal at a movie theater. Like, how do you know
I
this?
feel
Like,
like
oh, I
if
follow
I
last time
actually
online.
tried, I want to use that in real life, but I was just like, I wonder if these things actually exist, or if it's just like clickbait shit.
Anyway, yeah, like okay, let's.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's Asian market. But the other thing about the PlayStation Plus, besides the money, was the they're using the PAL version of the PS1 games, and I don't know about the PS2 games, but I know for a fact the PS1 games, which runs at 50 hertz. So
Yeah, I
like,
think I have to.
it's
Yeah, you have to explain a little
gonna
bit
be a-
what that means because I don't even know what
it,
that
run,
means.
it runs at a different frequency because Europe has different frequency, or it did. I don't know if it still does, or maybe just technology changed, and so it doesn't matter anymore. But the stuff that we got ran at a higher frequency, 60
Mhm.
versus Europe. So if you play a lot of those PAL versions of games, they run slower than
Mhm.
the stuff that we played natively here, and
I'm not
people aren't
Yeah. Okay.
sure why they're using the PAL versions because nobody really cares for the PAL versions. Even the people in Europe don't like the PAL versions of the games. And the only thing people can think of is, well, maybe it's because they have the most languages, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It might just be over there. Maybe that was the version they had natively to their area. So maybe over here we'll get that. Was it NTSC is the format
Yeah.
that we had over here.
So wait, so you're saying
maybe
that the
that's
main
what we'll
difference
have.
is when you say hertz, are you talking about like frame rate? Is
It's
that
frame
what?
rate. It's frame rate. It's 50
yeah, it's the
frames for the
frame rate.
60 frames.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the frequency of the TVs at the time that they ran at.
Interesting. Like I don't know if like I noticed a difference between 60 and 30 frames, I think. I'm not sure if I would notice a difference between 60 and 50. But if you're saying
I
people don't prefer the PAL or PAL?
The PAL, PAL.
PAL. Yeah, if you're saying people don't prefer the PAL versions, then I guess
Are you saying
It's
power?
well, I don't. It's PAL,
PAL.
but the thing is that I don't know if it's necessarily if 50 hertz is equal to 50 frames per second because it's obviously less because the games weren't running over 30 frames in PS1
I guess
and Super
yeah.
Nintendo era.
I guess that's not how frames are measured, but that's how refresh rate is
Yeah,
measured.
it's
I'm
the
not sure how
frequency.
different it is, but
But I do know based on what has been, described online is that it's slower.
hmm
So like games that require like good timing will mess you up. Like it's not unplayable, but it's just less preferable, if that makes sense. Especially if they make the PAL versions of if that's what we get over here. If you played the original version and then you play it again, you will notice a difference. Like when you play Siphon Filter, because I know a couple of you will probably go back and get the trophies for that, or replay it because Anthony wants to play it. Um, if it's a PAL version, you will probably notice it's a little laggy when you're playing the game because it's a different frequency.
hmm.
But
Yeah,
I'm also not an expert at the science, so I can't 100% like articulate like the
I'd be
subtle
interested.
differences.
I'd be interested in looking up why. Yeah, like I think you're questioning the same thing, like why they needed to have this different version for Europe. I wonder if there's like some limitation somewhere.
Well, it was just that's the version that they had at the time, like
hmm
just the way that electric current ran in Europe in the 90s.
Feeling nostalgic.
Yeah, so we ran our our stuff on at 60 hertz, and their stuff was at 50 hertz. So it was just the games of the era where that's the version that they had. Um, but instead of releasing the superior version, and it's kind of weird because they did go and they added all these extra features to these PS1 games like save states and you can like like rewind and do all this extra cool like quality of life stuff, and then added trophies, which apparently also PS4 and PS5 will have different trophies. Like if you're playing them on PS4 or PS5, they're not the same trophies.
Hmm.
So I don't know how that works, or maybe you just earn them twice.
It's a
But
split
they
mode,
added
so
all this
yeah, you
extra.
play it twice.
You add all this extra stuff, and then you're not using like the better version of the game. It's just kind of like questionable decision making if that is the version that they will roll out everywhere. Because it seems like if it's just for languages, you could have. It's not like a difficult fix when they already have that. They already have that information that they can just add in, right?
Yeah, I know like the new way that games usually do languages. You're talking about like text languages and spoken language, right?
Like localization.
Yeah, like localization. Yeah, so usually it's just like a I don't know. I'm probably oversimplifying it, but it's basically like a spreadsheet. Like they just grab like the text to show on screen like from a different spreadsheet. It's hard for me to understand why they would like why that would be like stressful enough to need a different I don't know refresh rate or something. But
Yeah, no, I don't
I don't
know.
know. I'm also not too knowledgeable about it, I guess.
I don't know why they picked the PAL version because nobody really, like I said, nobody really likes the PAL version. Not even the Europeans that grew up with PAL version. Like when they emulate those games, they you have ROMs for PAL and they have ROMs for the NTSC R versions of the games, and most people pick those ones because they run better.
Well, you know what people
unless
are
it's just
liking
not
though.
available.
What people are liking though is this new Marvel Taps game that got shown over the last week, which is, to give some background, this is a Marvel mobile game. It's a card game, and if you like Hearthstone, it is made by and I heard this from a friend who's a serious fan of Ben Brode, but Ben Brode split off from Blizzard along with a lot of talent from Blizzard. They made a new company, and this is their game this is like their studio's debut game, and so I mean, I guess you could kind of get a feel of how good it's going to be. I would think from like how successful Hearthstone is. I wonder if you guys have seen any of it or if you guys are interested.
I'm interested.
Wasn't there a couple of studios that spun off of Blizzard?
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't be surprised, but I know this one's at least one of them.
Pretty much most of the Hearthstone or Team 5 or whatever went to I think it's like Second Dinner is the new name of the new company. And like I remember, like once Ben Brode left, I remember a lot of them were just like, oh, this person's leaving, and then you see them later going into it. But I'm curious to how it's gonna work with that game because there's no turns in that game. So no, it's not. It's you play at the same time.
Real time.
Yep, it's real time.
Yeah, and
everybody plays at the same time.
I mean, the person I was watching, it looked like they were taking turns, but it was like not real turns. Like he put down his cards and they put down their cards like almost immediately after.
It's like one of those like board games where everybody plays at the same time, and then it resolves itself. So that's how it reminded me of when I looked at it, and I was like, this could be interesting. But like games are not supposed to last like longer than like 3 minutes, which is I'm kind of okay with, because I hate playing I hate playing control decks like when you play them in like games, and then games are like forever long, and then that's just not fun. Because maybe me just being the simple-minded as I like to play aggro decks to where I win really, really quickly. But
yeah, it's probably, and this is kind of looking at it from a different perspective too, but it's probably funner to watch too, and I wonder if that's going to help this game become like a competitive like tournament game, because Hearthstone is a tournament game too. But I wonder if this might even be more appealing to watch, during tournaments, if this breaks into like the tournament scene, which I think it could, since this team that's just me putting like a lot of faith and trust into this team because they did a good job with Hearthstone. I played it for a little bit, and I gotta admit, like the time I played it, I loved the game.
So right now, like
Hearthstone was cool in the beginning.
It still is good right now. It goes in and out of its phases. Like right now, it's really good. Like last tier was pretty good. The tier before that was kind of dookie. But I mean, it just depends on how you like to play. A lot of people are like, it just depends.
Yeah.
But I know it is visually like better, right? Because like when you like say you summon Spider-Man or whatever, like he swings into the thing, or like you summon somebody, or when you summon like who is it? I think they said like it was the Hulk or someone, or Thanos, and they're like smashing on the screen. It just seems kind of cool. Makes it more visually appealing.
Already?
Like you said.
It's in beta.
Yeah, it's just a beta right now.
Yeah.
I was really trying to get into the Multiverses beta or the alpha.
Multiverses.
Yeah.
That's the game I forgot. Yeah.
I signed up, and I was hoping I could play a little bit and talk about it, but
it seems like it's kind of crazy because I remember you were playing Hearthstone for a while, Justin, but you kept I think the one thing that you actually did complain about it was how it was pay to win, and it seems like this game is not pay to win at all, right? Because I think you pay for skins non-functional in-store purchases.
So it kind of goes back to like what we talked about last week with the whole Fortnite thing with you're paying money, but you're only paying money to see maybe Spider-Man in a different universe or like something like that. Which I'm okay with. Like
sounds cool.
I'm okay with like pay to win games if you can play like and pay and like win for free. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can slowly unlock it, maybe not slowly, but overlock it over time, then that's fine. But like,
See, I would even
I-
think that's pay to win though.
Well,
'cause-
like
Yeah, no.
their pass is basically you buy it one time and then the gold bars or gold that you get, you can use it to use for the next battle pass. So I like that.
okay.
And I also like that you can upgrade your cards too.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I forgot where I found this information, but I remember, like everyone knows that Blizzard, gets like a lot of money from World of Warcraft, right? With like subscriptions and like their in-store purchases and stuff. But I saw like there was like some crazy ratio somewhere that like even though WoW makes like the most money, I think I saw that Hearthstone was like the most profitable for them because like the development team that they required for Hearthstone was very cheap in comparison to World of Warcraft, but they also had like a very thriving store for Hearthstone. So I thought that was like a cool thing. Like maybe I should make card games, huh? Where I could just
everybody loves card games.
It's a good easy pastime. Like it's time filler, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that League card game was pretty good, and I thought they did a good job of balancing
League.
the transactions.
You're not talking about which are you talking about?
It's Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
it did a really good job of like rewarding you. Like I never felt the need to spend money, but I could have. Like it felt rewarding playing the game regularly.
I felt like that game was a little bit grindy too, right? Like they kind of had like their own.
It was, but like it still rewarded you pretty well, and I didn't like I said, there was a grind, but I didn't feel like I needed it to pay money because like when you hit that reward, like it would like really reward you. Like you were able to get a lot of the good cards without having to pay money. And I think most of the microtransactions were like also cosmetic. Like they have like the little animals that like sit on the screen next to you and then card backs and shit. So
Your
like
Poro.
yeah, your pro. Well, I don't know if it was all just poros. Was it just poros?
A
There was
lot of it
there
was
was
like
a
Poros and stuff.
there was a couple of cosmetic things that you could pay for, but like the game itself, it felt like it had a really good balance as far as like the reward for play.
All right, so we have one more topic that I think we could talk about, and it's the fact that EA, according to this article, is saying that they're looking to either merge with another company or get purchased. And I mean, it's hard for me to believe that they would get merged with another company, but basically,
Yeah.
the short, but basically to sum it up, EA
They were-
doesn't. EA needs help. I think.
I don't think they need help. I think that
they're just looking
I
for
think that
payday.
seeing Blizzard and Activision get bought out by Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and seeing how much they got bought for, they're trying to capitalize on that and be like, oh, let's get bought out too, or But I think one of the terms was if they want to merge, they want their current CEO to remain the CEO of the company.
Yeah, I heard that. That's an interesting take because it's hard for me to think that like anybody looked at Blizzard and was jealous of how much they got paid because from what I understood they got bought at a bargain.
Peanuts.
Well, I think
Well, the
scandal.
reason, but everyone knows why they got bought at that price, though.
But
Yeah.
EA finds, I think they're in like a good spot. Like they've been posting good numbers. They've stayed out of controversy for the last year or two.
I mean, they have a banging Battlefield game right now, right?
So yeah.
Shut up.
Well, I'm not talking about. I'm not going to talk about the games that are failing. I'm just saying, financially, they're doing well. They haven't made any. There's no like lawsuits or anything going against them. I mean, there was the loot box thing in Europe, but I don't even know
Oh,
what
I forgot
happened
about
with
that.
Yeah.
I think I want to say I read somewhere that it was close to being passed that those are going to be considered gambling. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I think we'll
That
find.
is considered gambling.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's
legally
that's
in
a
Europe,
whole
I think
nother
it's,
that's a
yeah.
whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna get into that. But I think EA values themselves high right now,
Okay.
and
So why do you
they're
think?
just trying to get paid. They're just
So,
trying to get paid.
so this is speculation, of course. I mean, we're just gamers
Oh
here.
yeah.
But why do we think that if EA is doing so well right now, why do they want to be? Why do they want to merge with someone else, or why do they want to be bought out? Because I don't know.
It's for that reason. If they
it's
can
the
get,
investor profits.
yeah,
Most likely.
they're looking to capitalize on that, on any momentum, or if they're doing good, they can basically see better if they merge with a company that'll be able to push them even further or help them get into a different market that they haven't tapped into or be able to tap into. Even though I mean they should have everyone that they need.
Well, it sounds like
More
they
resources.
they were close with somebody. Was it
Comcast, I believe.
Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
But like they're not going to like Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo. They're going to like Apple and
Yeah, they're going to
Amazon.
random companies. They've gone to
They're going
Amazon,
to
Disney.
big corporations that can buy them and fund them.
That's what I was gonna ask, because if you go to like other gaming publishers, I think the only ones that might be able to afford them. Actually, I think Microsoft would be the only one that could afford them to buy them out.
I think Sony could, but
I think Sony could.
I don't think
it
so.
would be an expensive transaction.
I don't-
I honestly, I don't even think they would allow it.
No,
I don't
because
think
here's the thing. Like I saw this chart recently of valuations of companies in the gaming space right now, and I realized that the price that Blizzard got bought at is half of what Sony's valued at right now, or something like that. I might be saying that wrong, but basically, like it was showing that if Sony wanted to buy Blizzard, they would have had to like spend like half of their value, their own value, to buy Blizzard. You know what I'm saying?
They said that they had at the
And like
beginning of the
Microsoft
year-
is like ridiculously up there. They have like a crazy market
well,
cap.
yeah, I mean, but they have
they're a whole more diverse company.
Right, but I'm just trying to say that.
Microsoft has Microsoft money, or I should say Xbox has Microsoft money.
Yeah,
And
but I'm just trying to say that like it seems like everyone's putting Sony on the spotlight or yeah, like it goes two ways. Like they're putting Sony on the spotlight for not trying to go after companies like Microsoft is, and then they're also pointing at like Microsoft for like I guess like poaching all these companies too. But the thing is, like, Microsoft has a lot of money. It's like I don't know, at least like 5 to 10x times like what Sony can spend, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, like
that's why I'm
Ubisoft
saying
is looking to get bought too, but like I said earlier, I think they're just gonna go to like an investment firm. Like they're not trying.
Yeah. I did kind of cut you off though. Like you said that EA was going to like these bigger companies, like not specifically gaming companies, right?
I don't even think even Microsoft definitely could afford EA, but they're already having trouble with with Activision Blizzard, and I do think that transaction will go through, but I do not think that they would be able to buy EA. There's no way that
I don't think it'd be allowed.
That wouldn't be allowed. Sony maybe. But I don't think Sony's interested, and I don't think Microsoft would be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
So like you have other companies that are trying to break into the gaming space, like Apple, like Amazon, and that if they bought that, then it would increase their IPs, because there's a bunch of IPs that EA is sitting on, just like Activision was, maybe more, because EA was known for buying up studios and then destroying them years later. They just dismantled them and then funneled them into like their Battlefield. And
I think Alvaro brought it up too, that like there's some franchises on EA that we've only really known to be EA games before. Like
well, like
it's
you
kind of
have Dragon Age and
Mass Effect.
Which I think will probably. I think we're gonna see a new Dragon Age announcement at Summer Games Fest this year.
that'd be cool.
But I think what EA is going to focus on is they got Dead Space coming out. That's a fan favorite, and I think they're going to put out some other big games to like make themselves look very valuable while they're seeking this purchase or sell, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of
Um,
yeah. It's hard for me to imagine why a company who is doing so well to uh, to me selling doesn't seem like a thing that they would want to do. But I mean, I'm not EA obviously, but it seems like
yeah.
yeah.
See, another thing could be
If you
is
really think about it, it's the most EA thing they can do because it's purely a money thing. They're not in financial trouble. They just want to get paid.
that anyone knows though. What if they are and they're just hiding it really well? You know?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
that
possibility.
I'm almost kind of thinking that like what if they think that they're burning out or something, you know what I mean? And they want to try to like sell when they're
While they're still good, while they're still valued at high.
yeah. I mean
Maybe
it's
they are burning out and we just don't know.
it's hard I don't know. The numbers aren't showing that though, right? Because I mean their live service games are doing well. They're
If you only look at the EA Sports, yeah, their numbers are really good. But besides that, um, they don't really have a lot going on outside of that that's doing well. Like Battlefield hasn't done well the last couple iterations, sales wise. Um, the last Mass Effect game wasn't very well received. Um, what
Anthem.
was the last Star Wars game?
God damn, I forgot about that
Anthem
game.
was a catastrophe.
Holy shit.
The other Star was at school. They got Star Wars taken from them.
Did-
So I mean,
no, they-
Yeah,
if we're
they don't
looking
have
at
exclusive Star Wars anymore, and
well,
they don't have
yeah,
the FIFA license either.
yeah.
Hold
Well,
up,
they
I thought
that was the FIFA thing was them saying, yeah, we don't want to pay $1 billion for the FIFA name,
I thought that
which I
they were
get.
still making a Fallen Order 2 game, or is that just rumor still?
Yeah, they
They
are.
can, well, they
Yeah.
They are.
can. They just don't have exclusivity.
Oh
that's
right, oh
coming, but it's
exclusivity,
not-
right, yeah,
It's
they
not
lost
EA. EA doesn't have the only. They're not to be the only one making a Star Wars game anymore.
Yeah,
that. Okay.
which is good. And I think as far as stuff like that, like that's for the best for all the Star Wars fans that EA doesn't have exclusivity to Star Wars because you're
Oh,
going
I
to see
agree.
better competition in that space, other people vying and doing more creative things than what EA would put out because they're very calculated in everything that they do.
Here's the thing though, like I mean, I'm just kind of disagreeing with that though because I mean, of the 3 past Star Wars games that they released,
Mm.
2 of them released well, and all 3 of them ended up in a good state eventually, right? Like I think Battlefront 2 was the one that didn't launch in a very good state.
It was
No, it
Really
didn't.
well received, but
It was poo poo for
Yeah.
like a year.
but I played it. Yeah, I played it after that year period, and it was like a really fun game. And so
The thing is
Like,
that they did really well building it up, and then they just cut it off. Like they just stopped. Like they
Well-
got into like a good spot that fans enjoyed, and they just stopped supporting it.
Mhm.
And if
Which
they
was the
really
one-
wanted to treat it like a live service, they could have just kept making content and supported it for
Yeah.
years later. People would still be playing it.
yeah, but I
Which
mean,
was
if we
the one-
don't, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, which was the one that was the guy from Shameless?
Fallen Order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually played that one. That one was good.
It was really good. Yeah,
And
and
was it the other one was Rogue Squadron?
I think it was
Yeah.
just I think it was just Star Wars Squadrons.
Squadron?
I cannot
Squadrons?
speak, but
That was all multiplayer though, right? Like
no,
that
it
one.
was single player.
No,
The
they had a
single player
campaign.
it was really
Oh,
fun.
it did?
It had both.
Yeah.
It had both. Yeah.
Because I seen that one go on sale a bunch.
See,
So I
what-
don't think
yeah.
it did as well financially, even though it was like
so that
warmly
one-
received. I don't think it was like people were
You
raving.
should have had it from PS Plus.
So that one,
I
the
think I
prob-
do.
The problem with that one is I think that they gave up on it before it launched, right? Because they're like, oh, it's not going to make that much money. It's not a live service game. But it turned
Yeah,
out
that's
to
how
be
it
really
feels.
fun.
Yeah.
They gave them a small budget. They said, "Here, make this little game,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is
pretty
all we're
much.
giving you." And then it did really well. But they're like, "Okay, well, we don't really have plans to support this. So you
Mhm.
made the game. We got money. Done deal." And same thing for the other Star Wars. What was it? Fallen Order.
Yeah, I think I agree with you
that was
there too.
like
Yeah.
a small game they didn't have plans to
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was a
support.
small game, but
I mean,
I think you
budget
can tell.
wise,
I don't know
it's
what the
not.
budget. It didn't seem like a small budget game at all.
I don't
That
think
one
it. I
seemed.
think it's like a triple A game. It's not like it's like in the middle, like a middle sized game. You know what I mean?
uh, Yeah, it's hard for me to see that based on like what I saw when I played it. But I think what it does say is I think EA treats their, uh, I think EA treats their non live service games like their stepchild. You know what I mean? Like they don't they don't care.
Well,
They don't care as
yeah.
much about them. They don't market them enough, you know, because those
Well,
are the really
because
fun games, in my
they've
opinion.
been saying for years that there's no money to be made in single player campaign type games.
It's
But we mean,
I
but we've seen that statement proved wrong countless times. Every time Sony releases a big first party AAA game, Spider-Man, God of War, breaking sales records. Like those were single player only games that were doing better than a lot of multiplayer games.
Yeah, I wonder what makes the
That's
difference between those games though, because I'm sure it takes like crazy planning to make sure that you can make a good single player game without going over budget, you know, because when it comes to multiplayer games, those ones can like like hit like a you know like critically hit the market, and they can just make so much more money than like what you budgeted for, right? Because I mean, like Fortnite, right? Like I mean, I'm trying to think of games that that made so much more money than I'm sure like what they were budgeted for. Like games like Among Us, um, Fall Guys, uh, I would say Fortnite too. They they made so much money based on like Fortnite has like I don't know how many maps does Fortnite have, Alvaro? Like
Fortnite is only one map,
yeah,
but
okay,
they've
so,
changed it
but
a ton
they've
since
changed it
the
right,
start.
but it's basically one map. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
have different modes though.
I
yeah.
remember it was the maker of Gears of War, where he said this a long time ago. He says it's crazy because when you're developing a game, probably 90% of the money goes into developing the single player game, you know, but 90% of the play time comes from multiplayer, you know. So it
Yeah.
I'm messing up the
That
numbers a
makes
little bit, but
sense.
I'm just trying to like get like the idea of what he was trying to say. But yeah, so I mean, if you can, uh, like I guess master the multiplayer, I guess, and make it a
Hopefully,
live
it's
service games.
multiplayer coming back after they
Yeah,
finish the single player.
and I think the reason why I said that is because that's why EA wants their multiplayer live service games. Because
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's money, but they have that good balance, I think, where they discovered with Battlefront, of, like they cannot treat stuff that we care about, like colloquially as like more hardcore gamers, like they treat games that the casual players play, like the sports games, stuff that they heavily monetize that brings them all that money, because we don't receive that well, and that's what happened with that Battlefront 2 game. They heavily monetized it. They made the grind outrageous, and you know tons of backlash, and they had to fix it. And I think that you can kind of see from that point on other games that are more aimed at like core players like Battlefield and all that stuff, they have not been as bad. Now, like the Battlefield stuff, that the issues it's had is completely other stuff. But after that Star Wars game, you got Squadrons and you got Fallen Order, relatively smaller scale games, um, that they can aim at the core. And then we're like, okay, you guys, you can have these games. We're not gonna do much. We're not gonna spend a lot on it, because we're not gonna expect a lot back. So we're just gonna focus on getting as much money from the casuals and the sports, and to finance the smaller projects. I think that's their mentality.
yeah. Well, I think we've completed our episode. So let's some housekeeping before we close out the episode. totally is one. We are W Energy Drink sponsored. You wanna flash that? You wanna flash the camera, Anthony? Yes, we have W Energy Drink in the camera. If you would like 10% off your order to W Energy Drink. Oh, and they have a merch store too. I'm doing terrible at this. I'm gonna get better, but yeah, get 10% off on us. Waifu sticker.
Wait, come with that. The waifu sticker come with it.
Yeah, I told you there was a waifu sticker in the store. Yeah. So yeah, take 10% off on us. There will be a link in the description. Follow us on social media. You can also follow us individually on social media. Our social media links are in the description as well. Summer Games Fest is coming next month, actually in a few weeks now, and we are planning to do mini episodes as reactions to some of the big events. So also give us a like and follow on wherever you listen to your podcast and on YouTube. We're in both areas. If you would like to be the first to know when we have new content out, we're going to be doing reaction videos throughout Summer Games Fest. Like in a little shorter, bite-sized videos and podcasts. So stay tuned for that, and I'm excited for this year's Summer Games Fest. We could probably go over a little bit of Summer Games Fest, like predictions next week too. So
Hell yeah.
I think is there anything anyone else wanted to add to that? Am I missing anything?
We do have one other sponsor, George's wonderful game studio, Dogmu Games.
How could I forget? Yeah, I plan
with the fabulous art.
When's that being
Yes.
released, by the way? Your game?
You should,
I was about
you should plug the artist as well.
I was about to say that. I want to have an exact date, but I am at least going to have a demo in the next few weeks, and I want to get the Steam page. I want to get a separate Steam page set up for the demo, and so stay tuned for that. You can actually wish list the full game. The link for that is also going to be in the description. Check that out. That will be for the full game. I'm going to have a separate Steam page for the demo, which I plan on releasing in actually just a few weeks from now, because I played through the beta or alpha, I guess. Right now I found some bugs. I need to fix the bugs, but I want to set up the Steam page, and then I will have an exact date within weeks from now of when the beta is going to be ready. And then so if you want to play the beta of the game, stay tuned. Actually, to know about that, it'd probably be better to follow the Dogmu Games. That's my game studio. Follow that Twitter link, and then you will be the first to know. Otherwise, it would also just be a huge help if you just wishlisted the complete game that's in the link.
Do it.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
The game is called Wake Out of Twilight. It's a platformer. It's a 2D platformer game, and I think that's it. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about that.
I was only going to say, if you follow us on Twitter, to just check out when we actually go live on Twitch. Sometimes we like to do some Fall Guys, because I am becoming a young Fall Guys prodigy.
Yeah, we got the young blood over here.
So
I once tried doing that Viking game, which was very difficult.
I think we should play For Honor.
For Honor.
Viking game.
No.
I love
What do you
For
mean,
Honor.
no?
I love that game. Y'all ain't ready for me at that game, but anyway.
Alvaro's not a PvP.
Yeah. Enough of the waffling, but
I love waffles.
Thank you for watching Last Time Online. Thank you for making it this far in the video, and make sure to join us next time online when we overdose. No, I'm not going to say that.
You're gonna see my naked face because I'm getting it. This is all gonna be gone.
When we take W Energy Drink until we shake.
No, we don't shake. No jitters. No
No
jitters.
shake and jitter.
No shake or jitters.
What?
How dare you?
An energy drink that doesn't make you jitter? Oh, that
I'm telling you.
sounds great.
I'm telling you.
All right. Bye.
Jitterless.